I have the valve cover off, and I'm going to be setting the tappets, or setting the valves, whatever way you want to say it. But there are a lot of videos out there showing you really detailed on how to do all this. But I just went through it once and went through it according to the book here. Got a 1/2-inch wrench for the break the nuts loose here. Little flathead screwdriver. And where did I just put my feeler? Okay, feeler gauge here at 0.010 inches thickness. So here's they show a little diagram here on how to do it. There's your feeler gauge, your wrench, and your screwdriver. So what you do is you start off to set the tappets to just in this order. To set tappet 1, you go to number 8 with fully open. So from here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. From 1 through 8 is right here. So right now I have number 8 fully open. You can see, I don't know if you'll see it moving here or not, but I'm turning the crank here with a wrench. Some people use their starter bar or whatever, start handle, which is fine, whatever. But before I put the water pump all together in the radiator, I thought, well, it's easier for me to do it like this. Plus I can get a better look at it. So back to this. So they want when this valve's open, number 8, you adjust number 1. And then the next one, you adjust number 3 when number 6 valve is open. So you have 1, 2, 3. To adjust number 3, you have 4, 5, 6. So number 6 needs to be fully open. So these ones here adjust that one, which is kind of weird. This gets really confusing. So once you do it once, you'll kind of get a good understanding of it. But from what I noticed is, okay, I have that one open, okay? Number 8, and I'm adjusting number 1. It doesn't have, this is my words, don't follow what I'm saying. So whenever I move this up and down, number 8 goes up and down a little bit. But it's sitting, this cam's actually sitting on the flat or the round or the bottom of the cam or whatever. So you have a lot of play. Like that doesn't have to be perfectly open in order to get to the flat part of the cam. So even though I was cranking back and forth while this one was open, this was still on the flat of the cam. So I think it's just there to kind of get you through a flow of getting it done or whatever, which isn't too hard to do. It's just, you know, do one at a time. And also you need to count all the time. So if you use a multiple of 9, so if you're doing number 1, number 8 needs to be open. 8 plus 1 is 9. So if you do 4, what was that? It said 3. If you do 3, you wait for number 6 to be open, which equals 9. So if you add that up, as you're going across, it'll always equal 9, so you know which valve you're doing as the other one is open. That's just a little tip that I saw in another video, which I thought was pretty neat. So you just kind of run through, and it's interesting as you go to 8, and then you go to one a fully open 6. Number 6 is almost open by the time number 8's open. So you can see 8 is fully open, and then 6, you got 6 here. So this one, it's already opening, number 6. So you're flowing, like this one's opening, then this one's opening, and so on and so on. So as you're going down here, it actually flows pretty fast. As you go from one valve is opening, the other valve's opening, and this one's closing. So it works pretty good. So I was kind of apprehensive at first, but I thought, what the heck, I'll give it a try. So as you go through, it's just a little turn of the engine, and each valve will be opening as the other one is open. One's closing while the other one's opening, is already open. Or, no, wait. One is opening while the other one's closed, and you adjust them when they're closed. Okay, enough of this. All right, so I set the valves, so the valves are done. I'm going to put a new valve gasket down because this one's all crusty and nasty. So valves are set. Also, Google and everything to double check whatever I'm saying, or just ignore what I'm saying. That's fine. So let's move on to the next thing. All right, I'm fitting the valve cover gasket, and this is another frustrating thing with these parts whenever I get them. You see the sticky? It was supposed to be sticky so you can stick it onto the valve cover. And you can see the paper won't come off. It's actually stuck on there, the paper that's supposed to be the sticky paper. It's very annoying and frustrating when you're trying to just put on a simple valve cover. So I'm going to put a little tacky on there on the sticky side. It's supposed to be sticky, and stick it to the valve cover. But I won't put it on the head itself, because then it'll just seal itself against the head. So I scraped the head and cleaned it. Alright, now I got it stuck on there with the tacky on one side, the valve cover side. Then I took a little bit of grease and just smeared grease along here to seal it against the head itself. So let's go and install it on there. Put the valve cover on. There's our fresh new gasket. And then these studs that hold on the valve cover, they actually came out with the bolts, with the nuts here or whatever. So I cleaned up the threads and I put them back into the rocker arm hold downs with a little bit of blue Loctite. I must have moved it. So blue Loctite, and put these down, snugged them down pretty tight so it kind of crushes this down a little bit. So valves are set, new valve cover, so this is all good up here now.